splendid day. It is warming up where I am at, which is really nice. It's like 68 degrees today, which is warm for here. And I am going to go out and ride my horses. I have had a lot going on the last couple of months. I kind of alluded to it on my last video. Lots have been going on, and I've been very stressed, especially the last couple of weeks. So all good things, all hopefully building for a better tomorrow, all things I want to focus on, but it doesn't take away the fact that it is stressful. I try to use this channel to promote mental health. I try to use this channel to promote mental well-being, and that does not mean that the struggles do not exist. Like, I get on here, I talk about this stuff, I try to present a place for people to come and hear things that makes them, think and want to think about their own life, but that doesn't mean I got it all together, and I still struggle. I struggle with anxiety, I struggle with feeling stress, I struggle with worry, I struggle with all the things that I talk about on this channel as, things we need to combat and deal with. I try to be mentally aware. I try to always be doing better. I try to always be the best version of myself, but it doesn't mean it comes easy. And, I think people don't always understand that. From the outside looking in, just because someone looks like they might have it together, or just because someone isn't always voicing all the turmoil and struggles and things that they're going through, doesn't mean it doesn't exist. So when you look at people, from the outside looking in, and you think, man, like, they just have it so much easier than me, or they just got it so much more together than I do, or they're just so much, better or successful, or, whatever the case may be. When you look at people from the outside in, don't assume that just because they make it look easy means that it's actually easy to them. Often it's hard for them too. They just push through and they try to do better anyway. So, again, the point of this channel is to be completely real and completely authentic, and to talk about how there are struggles in life, and to talk about how there are stressors in life, and to talk about how our brain does overreact and overthink, and it can get us into trouble, and emotions, and all the stuff that is so real. This is real life. So the point of trying to be the best versions of ourselves and to be mentally well and healthy is not to pretend that those struggles and those things are not there. Like, life is there and it's real, and the things we go through are real. The point is figure out how you can be the best version of yourself, how you can be mentally well, mentally healthy in spite of those things. So that is the point of this channel. So I always want to talk about what I'm going through from a really authentic headspace, because it's important. That is what this whole thing is all about. So it's never to cry woe is me, and that's not what I'm trying to do here. Everyone is stressed, everyone has got stuff going on, everyone has got struggles. But in the spirit of being authentic and being real and really talking about things, I'm telling you guys, I am like to here with stress and anxiety level. It is completely overwhelming right now. Do I trust that it's going to get better? Absolutely. Remember that time changes everything, like for good and for bad. So if you are in a really good place in life, you hold on to that and you cherish it and you soak it up for every ounce that you can, because it can change instantly. But the flip side of that is, if you're going through some struggles, if you're going through some stress, if you're going through a period where you feel overwhelmed, like, time will change that too. Like, so just stay in there, stay the course, stay focused, like, keep doing what you gotta do to get to where you're trying to go, and trust that a tincture of time will get you there. Like, just give it a tincture of time. But the point is, we don't want to be miserable while we're waiting, to get to the other side. Like, probably, and if it is, that's a real rare, situation and circumstance. There's always going to be something to deal with. Maybe sometimes it's big, maybe sometimes it's small, but there's always going to be something. So you're never going to be in a place where everything is hunky-dory, everything is roses and butterflies, and everything is perfect. So how do we get through those periods of struggle while not, while still enjoying life, like while not being completely miserable, while not being depressed, while trying to not be completely overwhelmed, so you can still enjoy and be present in those moments of your life too. So I want to go back to mindfulness, and I'm going out right now to ride my horses. Now I'm going to be very honest. Do I feel like going to ride my horses? No, not really, because I feel overwhelmed. I feel stressed out. I feel like going to ride my horses is not doing anything productive towards fixing the things in my life that are stressing me out. So I feel, and again, feelings, remember, feelings are not reality, right? But I feel like if I take 2 or 3 hours out of my day to go ride my horses, I feel like somehow that is putting me further behind. That is making me more overwhelmed and is adding to my stress. This is where you got to pull yourself back in, right? You got to understand that feelings are not reality. Feelings don't dictate reality, nor are they always reflective of reality. They are just human emotion. They are feelings. They come, they go. They're all over the place, right? So this is where you got to really rope yourself back in, away from the feeling part of it, and really think about reality. And the reality is that me taking 2 or 3 hours out of my day to come out here and ride my horses is not going to put me any further behind. There's nothing concrete that I can productively do in the next 2 hours that's going to alleviate my source of anxiety and stress. So that's number one. Number two, we talked about on here before. We're going to repeat it to really hammer it home. When you get stressed, when you get worked up, when you get anxious, when you start to worry, you activate fight or flight response. You activate that part of your body and your brain that in the caveman days gets all excited and activated when you have a danger in your presence, something dangerous to your life and your well-being. And the brain is like, oh my goodness, I gotta either run away from this thing or I gotta fight it off, one or the other. And your adrenaline surges, all the things, all the hormones, all the stuff happens in your body, and you create a heightened sense. Physiologically, your body becomes in this heightened sense. The only thing it understands in that heightened moment is that it has to act. Like it needs to either run away from something, it needs to fight something off, it needs to release this buildup of adrenaline and everything that comes with it that is surging in your body. So the worst thing you can do when you are in this period of fight or flight is to sit and be alone with your thoughts. You cannot think clearly in that state of mind because your animal brain is activated, not the part of your brain that can logically think, that can critically think, that can think your way out of a problem. Like that part of the brain is not functioning very well when you are in the state of fight or flight. In fight or flight mode, it's all about physical. It's all about doing something, running away, fighting something off, muscling your way through something, whatever the case may be. So when you're in that place, you don't want to sit alone with your thoughts because you're not going to be productive in thinking your way out of the situation. And the more you think about what is stressing you out, the more your body is going to become emotionally charged and into that fight or flight pathway. So it's going to be a snowball effect. You're going to start feeling worse. You're going to start feeling more anxious, more overwhelmed, more stressed, more worried. And your body is just going to start to spiral. The best thing you can do when you are in this state of mind is to physically do something. Get off the couch, get away from your desk, get out of the house, go for a run, go to the gym, do some push-ups. Like, it doesn't have to be fancy. Like, you can get on your living room floor, do some push-ups, do some lunges, do some jumping jacks, go outside, run down the street for a mile, like whatever, like physically do something. And I'm hammering this in because I'm telling you, it's the last thing you're gonna feel like doing when you're in this period where you feel like the world is like crushing down on you and you're all emotional and you're stressed and everything else. It's the last thing you're gonna feel like doing. But I promise you, it's gonna make you feel better. Give all of the stuff going on in your body, all the physiological responses, a physical out. It's like pressure building up in a pipe or a hose or whatever. You have to allow the pressure to escape. If not, it just builds, and builds. Your body is hardwired to have a physical response to these periods of stress, anxiety, frustration, emotion, feeling overwhelmed. The animal brain wants to physically respond to that. And if you don't give that part of your brain a physical outlet, it's going to keep building and it's going to keep getting hotter and heavier and more explosive and more pressurized. So you have to give it an out. You have to give it a way. You have to open the escape valve. I'll tell you the other thing that's really cool, especially about the horses. I mean, I think exercise, yoga, hiking, there's a bunch of examples where this is true. But with the horses especially, it forces you into a state of mindfulness. Like, mindfulness is being completely 100% present in the moment, right? And when you're 100% present in the moment, all of a sudden, stress of like worry and anxiety about what has happened, what could happen, all that stuff starts to melt away because you're right here in this moment. And in this moment, usually things are a lot better than they feel when our brain is thinking about all the like yesterdays and tomorrows and the what could be's, what might be's, what could have been's, etc. So if you can do anything that forces yourself to be mindful, completely present in the moment. Now, of course, you can practice this with meditation like we talked about here before. I encourage everyone to do that. We all should be doing that. But when we're really overwhelmed, even the ones of us that do faithfully practice it, it can be really overwhelming sometimes to meditate and get in that headspace. But you can find things in life that force you into that headspace. And for me, the horses are one of them, because if I'm not 100% present in the moment when I'm working my horses, riding my horses, training my horses, I can get seriously hurt, because they know when your attention is somewhere else and they know when your mind is somewhere else, and things can go bad real quick in that situation. So if I'm riding my horses, my mind is forcefully forced to be 100% in that moment. And that's the other reason that's therapeutic. And I know we don't all have horses, nor do we all want horses in life, but you can find it in other ways too. There's other things you can do that can really force your mind into the present moment. Being out in nature does that for a lot of people. Exercise does that for a lot of people. You can find your own version of that for yourself. And then if you're struggling to get there on your own during, meditation, or just trying to like do your breathing exercises or whatever the case may be, go do something that forces your mind to be right there in the physical present moment. And that's going to make you feel better too. Because as we know, that's the secret to, living a real happy, healthy life, is really learning to live in the present moment as much of the day as possible. All right, guys, I'm at the barn now. I hope that this, speaks and helps to someone out there. We all get to places and points in our life where we feel like the world is too heavy for us to deal with. So if you're going through that, if you've been through that, when you go through that in the future, you are not alone. and hopefully this maybe helps you cope with it next time you're in that headspace. We'll talk again soon. All right, bye.